And now we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And of course, now we've been live. Yeah, I mean, it is like a cockpit. It's crazy. And so now we're live everywhere in all of our formats. So welcome everybody to a happy Saturday, wherever you are. Well, thank you there, Sheba, for subscribing. I appreciate that. So I'm Bishop James Long, and a couple things. If you want to go to my website, it's very simple, bishopjameslong.com. That's easy. If you want to go to the church's website, it's usocc.org. That's usocc.org. So if you want to check us out there, well, there you go. That's the best place to go. Now, for those of you who are subscribing, I certainly appreciate that on TikTok. Thank you. And as a reminder, for the first half hour of the show tonight, the only people that will be able to chat with us are subscribers. And the reason is because there's so many people who ask questions during the presentation. You know, it gives the subscribers the first opportunity to ask because it just goes by so fast. So that's how we're going to do. Now, we're going to, of course, have a really cool presentation as we do every Saturday. Hopefully, there's a lot that I will have a lot to talk about tonight. Let me tell you, and some of these stories are cray. I mean, they are crazy. And when you hear some of them, you're going to be thinking, "My goodness, this is insane." It truly is. I mean, truly, absolutely isn't. Yep, here she is. Yep. But we have to bring her in immediately, of course, as she has her own little introduction, as we all know, because we've established this lady. She's been raised in a barn. And well, hello, Miss Wilma.
Howdy, everybody out there.
And how are you doing?
Well, I have a great announcement.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, for all of you Donny Osmond lovers out there, we want to say happy 66th birthday, Donny. We all love you. And you have the amazing voice ever would.
Sorry, folks. The studio audience didn't like that, Miss Wilma. The studio audience didn't like that at all. Sorry.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Hey, folks.
Anywho, he turned 66 today. So for all you Osmond fans, woohoo! Happy birthday, baby.
I don't even think the donkey liked that one, Miss Wilma. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. That's pretty rough.
How are you doing tonight, Miss Blonde?
Well, I was doing fine until the donkey died on me because you mentioned Donny Osmond's birthday. Great. Now I got a donkey I have to deal with over here in the studio audience. Wonderful. So you come on. You just come on. It's only 3 minutes into the show. And now I got to deal with a donkey who's unalive. And now the audience is booing you because you mentioned Donny Osmond's birthday.
Hey, but seriously.
Yeah.
It's like he's 66. And it's hard for me to say that because I grew up watching him. He started, I'm 2 years older than him.
Well, that's what you say.
And then I'm thinking,
that's what she says. She's old.
He was on Andy Williams' show, and I was like, oh my gosh.
20 years old.
It's just so hard to see these kids grow up.
Kids?
It just makes you feel old,
See these kids? You just said you're 2 years older than him. So you're not. What do you mean? He's not a kid anymore, Toots.
I'm 68.
I need an autographed copy of the Bible. Please give me one. I mean, my goodness, 68. No, I mean,
he's 66, and if I'm 2 years older, 66 and 2 plus 2 is 68.
No, they didn't like that. No, they didn't like that either, Miss Wilma. No. As I said, you're so old. You knew when Burger King when he was a prince, and that is the truth. Your memories are in black and white. Oh, I can go all night, but we're not. So okay. Sorry. Hey, what?
I got you.
Oh, please tell us.
How does a snowman lose weight?
How does a snowman lose weight? Okay, I don't know how.
He melted off the extra flakes.
Oh, the audience liked that one. Do you like that? Well, hell, they like that. That was your first drum beat. That was your first drum beat, Miss Wilma. Look at you go, girl.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
impressed.
I kind of figured that drum beat there.
I'm
Okay.
impressed.
What
Yeah.
did one snowman say to the other snowman?
What did they say?
Do you smell carrots?
Oh my, you're on fire tonight, Miss Wilma. What where did you get these jokes? The studio audience is loving you. Loving you. You're on
God,
fire.
I wonder why they're loving me.
They just love you, Miss
I
Wilma.
really wonder why they love me.
Man,
Yeah.
you're good. I mean, I'm telling you, you are on fire tonight.
Yeah, I'm so good. Sure. Okay, I get it. Okay.
Hey, you know what?
Uh,
There's nothing wrong with it. You're tearing it up. You're tearing it up, Miss Wilma.
What did Mrs. Claus say
Yep.
when he asked her?
wait. What? What in the world, folks? This is what happens. And then she writes down her jokes, and that's it. It just goes downhill too. That's it. That's how it happens. Let's try this again.
What did Mrs. Claus say when he asked Santa?
Yep.
How's the weather look like?
So what? Say it again now.
What?
What was that?
What did Mrs. Claus say when she asked Santa,
Mm-hmm.
what does the weather look like?
What did Mrs. Claus say when she asked Santa?
She asked Santa what the weather looked like.
Wait, hold on. So Mrs. Claus wouldn't say anything. Santa would say something. So what did Santa say when Mrs. Claus asked him what the weather was like upstairs, right?
Santa told her it looked like rain, dear. Get it? It looked like rain.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Wait.
Sorry. Sorry.
Mrs. Claus was talking to Santa, and she wanted to know what the weather looked like.
Right.
So he told her, he said, it looks like rain, dear.
Yeah, but you said, what did Mrs. Claus say when she asked Santa what the weather was upstairs?
What the weather looked like.
Mrs. Claus wouldn't say anything because she's the one asking the question.
Yeah, Mrs. Claus was asking Santa the question.
So Mrs. Claus wouldn't say. Folks,
and then Santa told him,
that's
it
it.
looks like
That's
rain,
it.
dear.
I'm done.
Don't you
Folks, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. For those of you who are dehydrated, cheers.
Oh, my stars.
That joke didn't even take off. That crashed and burned.
What do you call
Yep.
when my helpers take a picture of themselves?
What? What'd you say?
What do you call when my helpers take a picture of themselves?
What do you call when your helpers take a picture of yourself?
Yeah, see, I'm Santa talking.
Oh, so you're Santa Claus. So what did Santa Claus say?
What do you call when my helpers take a picture of themselves?
I have no idea.
Elfies. Get it? Elfies.
Sorry.
Instead of elves.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. Folks,
I made that small joke.
Well, yeah, but you destroyed it. You destroyed your sister's joke. Destroyed it.
Okay, what do you call a frog hanging from the ceiling?
What do you call a frog hanging from the ceiling? I don't know.
Mistletoe.
Hey, they like that one. That was a good one.
I got one. Woohoo!
That was and you're.
Wow, I got one. How about that? That way, pass out here.
Wait, did Lynn tell you that one?
Yeah.
Oh well, there we go.
Is
See,
that why I got the dressing because you do it?
that's right. See. Lynn's Wilma's sister is the one who told her that joke. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, Miss Wilma. Guess what?
Yeah. Okay. What's the first thing Santa's helpers learn at school?
What is the first thing that Santa's helpers learn at school? I don't know.
Alphabets. Alphabet. That was my joke.
No, you messed that one. Oh, no, Ellen likes it. Ellen liked it. Yeah, Ellen liked it.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, sweetheart. See, I do tell good jokes.
Hey, Miss Wilma, guess what?
What?
My IQ test results came back. Did you hear about that? Yeah, they were negative. Oh, but come on. Well, it was really that bad. Come on.
Wait. How
Thank
come
you.
always get the booze, and I get the booze?
Well, the reason is
that's not nice.
the reason is you get the booze because you must have been getting the booze before you came on air. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Drinking my life.
Hey, I remember I told you this one. What do fish say when they hit a concrete wall?
Well, they say "oh" and then the D word.
That's right. They say "damn." True story. The D word. The D word.
That's the only thing they could say because it's all there in the fish.
Hey, Miss Wilma, did you hear that they arrested the devil?
It's about time.
It's true. They did. Yeah, they got him on possession. That was a good one. That was a good one.
You keep getting the drum beat.
Wait.
How come I get the beat?
I'm telling you right now, Wilma. You know, I because here's why. I was addicted to the hokey pokey, but then I turned myself around. True story, everybody. True story. True. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. They really like that one. Okay. And then I broke my lip, my hip and back and everything else. Hey, listen, you would not want to see me do the hokey pokey.
Pretty good.
Well,
you do have some pretty good ones there.
Well, thank you.
You really do. You have some pretty good ones there.
Well, thank you very much. It is kind of like we're getting old. You know what happened? I went to an antique store. You know what happened? An antique auction. Well, as soon as I walked in the door, there were 3 people started bidding on me. I mean, that was terrible.
Well, I got another one.
Oh, please tell us.
How you can tell that Santa is real?
How can you tell if Santa is real? I don't know. How can you tell if Santa is real?
You can always sense his presence.
The donkey came back and now he's going back down again. See you later, donkey.
Why is Santa scared of chimneys?
Well, because he's too heavy and he'll get stuck.
No, because he has claustrophobia.
Okay. Can you say that word one more time?
I think he's going to ask me
What was it? What was that word?
He has claustrophobia.
Yes. So, folks, when I told you about Ms. Wilma drinking a little bit early about the booze, I get the beat, she gets the booze. You almost made me spit my water out there. That would have been interesting. I spit my water all over the screen. That would have been wonderful. That would have been great. Having lots of them. Man, are you okay? That's you know what? I know that. Listen, it's true. This is.
You know, Santa has favorite music.
He does.
Crap.
Did you just say crap? I didn't know. Did you just said? Oh, rap! I thought you said crap.
I did.
See you.
I did.
Sorry, Santa. Sorry. See if you get any presents this year. I mean, my goodness. Yeah, what's the favorite Santa? Crap. That's what Santa's favorite music is. Crap. What about his wife? Well, let me tell you. Oh, great. Thanks. Now we have the drunken Smurf here. Great. We lost control. That's it. We've lost control. That's just right now. Right. You gotta watch that Santa music, man. Goodness gracious. Well, I tell you, I know.
Why don't you ever see Santa Claus in the hospital?
I'm afraid to answer that question because of the first because of your previous answer. I'm just saying. I'm just for previous answer.
He has private health care.
He had a who?
Because he has private health care.
Oh, boo! That was
That was pretty dang good.
that was not dagnabbit good at all. Because I mean, I guess he better have some private health care considering he have some issues on the previously. I mean, but anyway, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Hey,
Ah.
I'm good. I tell you what.
Mhm.
What kind of motorcycle does Santa ride?
I don't know. What is it? What does he ride?
A Harley Davidson.
What? Audience,
That's Harley.
audience, you like that one? You like that one? No. Donkey, did you like this one? You've just destroyed the soundboard. You completely destroyed it. With that joke, the soundboard is gone.
I can read no
Dying
writing.
again. Yeah, you can. That's what it
Harley,
was.
not a Harley Davidson.
Oh boy.
I can read. I just
Miss Wilma, how do you say TWA? How do you say that? How do you say it? How do you say the word? What is it?
TWA.
Well, no, what does it sound like? Sound it out. What is it? What sound it out? TWA. Like
TWA.
Twa is what I'm saying. Twa.
Oh,
So how would you say TWA?
twa,
How would you say TWA?
twa,
How would you say TWA?
twa,
How would you say TWE?
twee,
How would you say TWE?
twee,
How would you say TWE?
twee,
And how would you say TWI?
twa,
Yeah, how would you say and how would you say TWI?
twa,
And how would you say TWI?
twa,
And how would you say TWO?
two,
How would you say TWO?
TWO, two.
Two.
Yeah,
You would say it, TWO is that's how it says.
two.
Two.
Yeah, twa, two, yeah. Why?
So
Yes.
TWA sounds like what?
TWA, what was TWA? Twa, twa,
Twa. Yeah, and TWE.
Twa.
TWE.
three,
Mm-hmm. TWI.
TWI, twa,
Mm-hmm. And TWO.
two.
TWO. What does it say?
Two.
Uh-huh. Are you
What is the catch?
you're sure about that, right?
Yeah, two.
Twelve.
Try, two. Yeah. Two, twa, yeah.
Yeah. Are you absolutely sure that TWO is 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had try, we had tro, we had
Yeah.
tray, yeah.
Well, last I
TWO, tro.
hey, well, last I heard TWO actually. So one more time, what is TWO?
TWO,
Mhm.
tro.
Well, last I heard TWO would be 2.
No, TWO is tro.
Is it 12?
Tro.
Yeah, 12.
TWO is tro.
12. You're absolutely convinced it's 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you.
TWO is tro.
12.
There's try, and the tro. Right?
No, TWO is 2.
To what?
That's what the word said. TWO is 2, not 12.
TWO is tro.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, see, try. We did a try.
Yeah, it's TWO, everybody. Well, a new word. TWO is a brand new word. Well, no.
You just spelled TWO too, right? Oh, shoot. You did. That's where the two came in at. How rude. You did it to me. How rude.
That's pretty good. What do you think about the
That was
Su-
very nice.
baby studio audience? Did you like that? Yes, she likes that. The baby.
Hey,
Twoo. You got to watch those twoo. It is twoo. It is so twoo.
I just told Helen I need your help.
She's Helen.
You directed me.
I tricked you. That's right.
You tricked me.
Well, what are you gonna? Well, you're the one that said twoo. It's
I was
twoo.
cool, but I said, oh, come on.
I tell you, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Boy, you just
That's
fell
not-
right in that hook,
that's
line.
not,
and sinker.
that's not lying trick to me. I read.
Oh boy,
But that was good though. Like, you got me good on that one.
that was a pretty good one. I got.
It was. Okay, I want to
Thank
tell some stories because State 21.
Oh, okay. Goodness.
Thank you for the jokes because those were nice, cute,
Okay.
except for getting me, was it? Okay. A black bear in Florida.
Yeah.
Started attacking a reindeer decoration
Oh goodness.
and dragging it from the yard.
Rude.
EJ, don't call my bear rude.
That was a
It's
rude.
baby black
Okay. Okay.
bear.
It is okay. Well, what's wrong with that bear? No. What is wrong with that bear? It's a light up deer.
He was playing with the decoration.
No, he wasn't playing with the decoration. He thought it was a deer. And he was going to eat a decoration that was lit up with lights. Doesn't he know?
Scared him because he probably scared the little feller because a deer don't light up, and he was scared. He probably didn't know what it was.
Well, leave it alone. I tell you what.
Well, E.J. Laban
Yeah.
said his family was preparing for dinner. When his wife told him what happened,
Mm-hmm.
the family security camera recorded as the bear walked up to the lighted up reindeer. The bear goes up and paws it down.
Oh.
Said they found the decoration at the end of the driveway. Now, a deer, when a bear sees a deer, they're not lit up. So
Right.
when that poor baby saw that deer lit up, lights around it, he's probably thinking, "What is this thing?" And he had to protect himself.
Well, but the deer wasn't doing anything except for lighting up.
The bit scared the bear.
Well, then the bear needs to go back in the woods. I mean, goodness gracious. See, this is Miss Wilma. She is so
I
polite.
would
She
love to see a bear after. Oh my God!
Miss Wilma is so polite and so kind, and she doesn't like to be mean. I'm telling you, Wilma is she's so innocent like this. When thieves broke into her house and stole her TV, she chased after them, shouting, "Wait, you forgot the remote!" I'm telling you, this is Miss Wilma. That's thank you. It's Miss Wilma. Okay. I mean, wouldn't want to insult the thieves. That's true story. What?
I wouldn't do that.
So,
I've been calling 911. They took my movies away from me.
they took your movies. Don't mess with Miss Wilma's
No,
movies.
train back
Oh,
my
my
TV.
goodness.
I gotta watch my movies.
Better leave her movies alone. Leave her alone.
Robert Murray earned the title for the greatest distance cycling with no hands.
Mm.
He rode 80.95 miles in 5 hours and 37 minutes.
Was he just
Murray
that bored?
said
Was he just that bored?
he won the world's generous, the world.
What was that?
He won the world's genius record.
Oh, I see. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, he rode without no hands. Can you imagine though? But
No.
his hand, he did say he used his hands to massage his legs when they fell asleep during his attempt.
Oh, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, but he rode 80.95 miles.
Wow.
Can you imagine on a cycle with no hands?
No, I would crash the first few feet. I'd be right there on the
Wow,
ground.
That was good though. You know it.
Well, that's pretty good. I have some stories. You want me to tell you some?
Yes, please.
Well, let's go into a little bit because you really like these stories. Dumb criminal segments. Dumb
Oh,
criminals.
I do like them.
It's amazing. I tell you what, it is really amazing, folks. Let me tell you what happened. A Florida man went by the cops and tried to throw them off his trail by placing a big sign outside his house reading "Johnny Yates does not live here." Well, it didn't work. Yates, 41, who was wanted by the Polk County Sheriff's Office on aggravated battery, false imprisonment, and tampering charges, was eventually locked up. Deputies showed up at Yates' Lakeland home around 2:45 on Saturday after getting a tip that he was holed up inside, and the sheriff's office said on Facebook. When the deputies arrived, they noticed a note written on a dry erase board in front of a window that said, "Johnny Yates does not live here." The post said, gee, a dry erase board never lied to us before. Should we believe it? So anyway, the deputies questioned someone leaving the house who confirmed that, in fact, Yates was inside, because unfortunately he forgot that there was a receipt that was attached to this board with his name on it. Not a bright man, folks. Not a bright man. It didn't work.
Oh,
He was arrested, by the way, if you don't know.
yes,
Listen-
I wonder.
Well, listen to this.
Okay.
This is crazy. People sometimes in Alaska, I think they just get a little bit bored. Well, let me tell you what happened. An Alaskan bank robber who was caught immediately after his heist, after his robbery, because he was counting the money outside of the branch that he just stole the money from, trying to rob the same bank 5 minutes later. So Michael Nash, 49, was swiftly taken into custody for carrying out the failed scheme that closely resembled the fumble just a few minutes earlier. The botched 2018 burglary earned him a spot at least in the dumbest criminals list as he slipped a teller a demand note with his name and birth date scrawled on the back. So clad in black jeans, black hoods, and a jacket and a hat, Nash allegedly sauntered up to a First National Bank in Anchorage at 9 a.m. and began violently pulling out on the front doors, according to the attorney's office. Well, anyway, so this is what he did. He robbed the bank, went outside, counted the money, didn't think that it was enough, and he went right back in to get more money. Folks, I'm telling you, this is not a very bright one. All right,
Oh my
what story do you have?
gosh. Well, I got a movie. Excuse me, my allergies acting up.
Oh, well, listen, I got some more crazy stories. You want to hear them?
Yes, please.
Well, since you like them, there we go. Well, listen to this.
I love them.
Well, criminals are sometimes not really the brightest light bulbs, in the closet there. A woman who was part of a duo that robbed a California store got caught for the crime as she came back minutes later to claim her cell phone, which she had dropped while trying to get away with a few $100s in merchandise. So a woman was arrested for robbery after she returned to the store minutes after robbing it to retrieve the cell phone that she had dropped. The woman was part of a duo who decided to rob a California nail supply store, initially making out around $600 worth of merchandise. Then one of the ladies decided to come back into the store minutes later, demanding her phone. She had apparently dropped it during the getaway. And the clerk said, "No, you can't have the phone." And the lady said, "I'm going to call the cops." Needless to say, the duo were arrested. This is the most amazing thing. And this is a true story. That's what the craziest things in the world. That is the scariest part. All right. What is your movie review? Oh, I got one more, by the way.
Okay.
Listen to this. Now, this is pretty serious. A smart toilet burst into flames as someone was using it. A Chinese man barely managed to get off his smart toilet with his bum intact after smoke started coming out of the toilet bowl and the whole thing burst into flames. So the Evening News recently reported on the story of a man from China in Providence who recorded his smart toilet burning after a suspected short circuit. The incident occurred on November the 10th when the man was using the toilet. At first, there was a smell of smoke. Then plumes of white smoke started billowing from the toilet bowl. And finally, just as the man got up from the toilet, the smart toilet burst into flames. The photos is actually taken on this. This is insane. The cause of the incident has not been revealed, but the owner suspects that a short circuit sparked the fire. We now have toilets catching fire
Oh my God.
because it's a smart toilet. I mean, when you a smart toilet, you can't flush the toilet on your own. I don't know. I don't know. You guys, if you guys can explain that one to me, I mean that
I don't know that. Oh my God.
because some of these toilets are now I guess they do kind of crazy things. I mean, I don't.
It is crazy.
Wilma,
you know it.
why was it, I'm telling you, I have these smart toilets. Have you ever seen them?
No, not really.
You'll have to look it up. You'll have to look it up. Some of the it gets a little crazy. It gets a little crazy. Yeah.
But now that's real though. The smart toilet is real, right?
Yeah, these smart toilets are actually real, and some of them is kind of
Wow.
crazy. I mean, it's I don't know. It's
What did you hear about the electric cars? People are really complaining about them now because they're catching on fire, and not only that, but it takes so much to, when you charging up the battery electric.
mhm.
It's costing for that, and a lot of people's complaining about electrical cars now
Well, yeah, because
because they're catching on fire, and they oh my stars, it's taking so much electric to charge them up, the battery.
that's crap. Some of these things, I just don't get it. Hey, Mims, why did the toilet paper go to the party?
I don't know.
Why did the toilet paper go to the party?
I sure say get flushed, but I didn't know what that meant. I probably won't be what he said.
No, because it wanted to get down and dirty. Okay, that was
oh my
it.
gosh.
What are you gonna do? Okay, tell us your 1920 joke. What do you got for us, Miss Wilma? Oh, I'm not 1920
movie.
1920
I
movie.
do want to thank you all for. I hope I do make you laugh because it warms my heart. I'm
Yeah.
not a comedian, but we got so much out there worries and stuff, and I hope I do put a smile in your face.
You do, Miss Wilma.
Thank
We
that.
appreciate you jumping on with us and chatting.
And I love it when you tell jokes too. I love yours. I love those little stories.
No, thank you,
All right,
Miss
my
Wilma.
movie,
Yeah.
you're welcome. My movie is called Prancer with Sam Elliott and Rebecca Harrell and Cloris Leachman. A
Prancer.
little girl didn't want to leave her dad to go live with her aunt. Her dad was trying to raise her, but he didn't really know what to do, but he wanted her to go live with her aunt.
Mhm.
So one night coming home, she was very upset. So one night coming home from school, she saw a reindeer. Its leg hurt. So she hid it in her barn and fed him cookies. She told her friend about it. Said, I have Santa's reindeer, Prancer, in my barn. Now, when the people in town heard about it, they wanted to see Prancer. So they came out to see him. But her dad didn't know anything about this deer. The little girl needed some money, so she cleaned a woman's house in one room. I tell you what, that room was, oh, my stars. Now, but when the dad finds out, goes outside, and the deer comes inside the house, well, things got a little out of control. But I don't want to give it away.
Oh, no.
But this is a very good movie. It's called Prancer.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's 1989. That's great. I appreciate you.
How would you what year?
1989.
Wow. See, I
Mhm.
don't look at the year. I just look at the movies because, I love Christmas movies.
Yeah,
I watch them all year round. I
Well,
really do.
I know you do. You could. I think you could watch 24/7. I think you could.
Oh, yes.
Because
Well, I know y'all want to get your paranormal, so I'm going to jump off here, but I hope everyone has a great night. And I love all
Wait,
of
wait, wait,
you.
wait. You're not going to stay and talk about the scary stuff, the ghosts and goblins
I'll
and
let
ghouls?
you handle the paranormal. Yeah, I'll let you handle those, okay?
Well, Miss One, we'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Bible study, right?
Yes, I can't wait for the kids and the adults. So I love all of you, and God bless.
Thank you, Miss Wilma. We'll talk to you a little later.
All right, night, everyone.
All right, good night.
Night.
All right, everybody. That was Miss Wilma. That was the one and only Miss Wilma. I tell you what, she is. Yeah, well, we've already established that she is a hoot. She is. But yeah, I love her movies from 1920s. Well, I don't want to give it away. Oh boy, the things. That's Wilma. That is Wilma. We keep saying we're going to do a video, and that way you can see her, because a lot of people are asking. Just please, we'd like to see. We're like, so I'm trying to convince her to do that. She's, we'll have to talk her into it. That way we can kind of put her on video, and you guys can see. You can put a face with the name. So yep, there we are. Hopefully you've enjoyed that little segment that we do. Oh, now, so let me talk to you guys. Let me open it up for the chat. There we go. Now the chat is open for everybody. Now I want to remind. Well, thank you very much, Chad. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow we're not leaving. So, but tomorrow we have 8 p.m. and we're going to be here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for tomorrow night. That's for our Bible study. That's where obviously the second Sunday of Advent, and Miss Wilma teaches the kids. So if you have children out there and you would like for them to listen to it, we'd love to have you. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. Everyone's invited. Everybody's invited. I will be here, by the way. The 24th is Christmas Eve, but I am still planning to. I'll have to find out. I'll have to find out about the family and us getting together. So we'll have to see what time. So that's a possibility, because I know that I just don't know. I don't know if we're. Oh, you're very welcome there, Bill. Thank you for getting it. So because Sunday, December the 24th is Christmas Eve. I just don't know right now. That's we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, that's I'll be here, of course, every other time. It's just that Christmas Eve we'll have to see how that goes. New Year's Eve is December 31st, and I will be here. And that's for Sunday. So I'll be here. I'll be doing Bible study on New Year's Eve. So there we go. If you want to join us on that. So really the only date that's in question at this time is Christmas Eve. Okay. And there we go. So that is what I want to let you guys know about that. Now, this Friday, I'm telling you guys, it's a very, very interesting. It's a very interesting show, and I'm hoping that you decide to that you show up. It's at 7 p.m. And there was and there's no question it's a cult. In my opinion, I believe it's a cult. That's my opinion, without question. But if you have not seen it, there's a documentary on HBO Max, and it's called Love Has Won. Oh, great. Thanks. Wonderful. Called Love Has Won. WON. And we'll have I know we'll have Bible study on New Year's, but I don't know about bringing in. We'll see about that. We'll just see. So the Love Has Won document. If you have HBO Max, or just maybe go on YouTube, maybe there's something there. Perhaps it's streaming elsewhere. They had a documentary on, her name is Amy Carlson. Now, Amy Carlson believed, and she told everybody, she went online, that she was God. She was God. And she also said that she was, in the previous life, she was Jesus, Marilyn Monroe, and a host of other people. Then she says she was Mother Earth, and it just go on and on and on. Well, what was odd is that people actually flocked to this woman. And she got involved with relationships with men, and then she would call them Father God. And so people would actually show up at this location. And what they did to these people is nothing less than barbaric. It was terrible. What in my opinion, it was horrible what they caused, and the turmoil that they caused these people. And I'm not going to tell you all the details because this Friday I'll give you the information. But this is without question. This is it's a cult. No, she told everybody she was God, and they worshipped her as God. Now, I don't want to give you, well, yeah, Doc Juggy, but this goes a little bit deeper than that. I encourage you. If you have not seen the documentary, Love Has Won, try to find it, get it, watch it. It's going to absolutely blow your mind because I don't want to tell you what happened. And so I'll be talking to someone on the 15th, this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the only thing that I can say, I'm not going to tell you any information about her. I'll just simply say that she had a family member that was very involved with this group. And so she'll be talking to us about what she knows and many things that the documentary did. They really did not go over all the details. This Amy Carlson, who claimed to be God, was very abusive. Very, very, very abusive. That's not my opinion. That's actually a fact because I remember watching this group. I was on, it's on HBO Max now. You can watch it on demand. Lips, there's a few things that you might be surprised about. The Lip says it was very well made and detailed. There was a lot left out, a whole lot. So there's a lot more to this story that you don't know. And you're gonna find that out this Friday. And some of the things are unbelievable. But I remember watching this group when I was going through. I was looking through YouTube channels, doing some research on a topic that I was about to present, and this came up, and I thought, what in the world what is this group? And they were live at this time in Hawaii. And so what they did is they went on YouTube all the time, and they were selling crap. That's all it was. I mean, they were just selling nonsense stuff. Even the bath water of this woman who claimed to be Mother God. You heard me right. And people bought it. So they were just selling a bunch of stuff. I mean, just constantly selling and talking about how wonderful they call her mom, how wonderful Mother God is, and all this other nonsense. Well, she was in the other room. And during this live episode, I would hear her scream. I mean, in vulgarity. She would make a drunken sailor embarrassed. And certainly make him blush. She was really vulgar and just violent with the people that just wanted to serve her at her every whim. And I remember watching this and just hearing what she was saying and the screaming. It was just unbelievable. As a matter of fact, if you go on YouTube, there and you call it Dr. Phil, he actually interviewed her, and that is available. So her name is Amy Carlson. So that's the name, and she's not the actress. Some of you might be thinking, was it? No, she's not the actress. It's Amy Carlson, Carlson. There is an Amy Carlson who's an American actress, but that's not her. So you'll have to type in Amy Carlson, Love Has Won, or Amy Carlson, something like that, Mother God. Well, again, the documentary, you're going to learn that there were a lot of things that the documentary left out, and you're going to learn on Friday many of the things that was left out, and you're going to be shocked. It is so troubling to me. Yep, that's it. It is so that is so troubling to me that people will go to that level of following these dangerous people, and these people who are, without question, they are experts in manipulation. They are truly sadistic. They are absolutely experts, and she certainly was, in my opinion. She absolutely, well, because Judy Ann says, why don't they just turn to Jesus? Because she said she is Jesus. She's God, according to her. Well, according to what she said, she claimed she was Jesus she was Jesus. She claimed she was Marilyn Monroe. She claims she is God. So by turning to Jesus, they are turning to her, according to them. I mean, I'm telling you, this is crazy. And the people that actually went and followed her were not uneducated people. It's some educated folks. And it's quite troubling. So anyway, check it out this Friday. Again, Amy Carlson. This Friday, I'm going to be talking about an insider who knows about the Love Has Won cult. And I'll be interviewing her at 7 o'clock, and you will not want to miss it. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live. These people who are master manipulators, Mary says, how can people fall for that? I've got to tell you, these are master manipulators, and many of these people are looking for something. They're looking for to fit in. They're looking for something, and I got to tell you, I'm troubled. I am troubled by it. But anyway, we're going to do that. It'll be this Friday at 7 p.m. Don't forget, folks. Okay, you're not going to, and it's going to be at 7 p.m. Friday. All right. Let me just check something real quick. Okay. So okay, good. Yeah, it's crazy. It really is crazy. But yeah, check it out, and I'll remind you again. But it's okay. So if listen to some of these stories that I found. It's amazing how people have such amazing luck. It really is. Some people can just walk down the street and win a jackpot. Well, this is by Ben Hooper. Wayne Murray won $10 million from a scratch-off lottery ticket less than 2 years after winning $10 million from another scratch-off game. I'm lucky to get $2. I don't play it very often at all, but if I did, sometimes if I'm lucky, I might get my $2 back. But anyway, a New York man scored a $10 million prize from a scratch-off lottery ticket after previously winning the same amount from a different lottery game in 2022. The New York Lottery said Wayne Murray of Brooklyn bought a 200X, whatever that is, scratch-off ticket from H&A Gas and Convenience on Avenue. And he scratched off a $10 million top prize. Now, Murray previously won $10 million from a black titanium scratch-off ticket he bought from the same store in 2022. The two-time winner claimed his latest prize as a $6,122,400 lump sum after the required withholdings. Can you imagine? I think that's great. That's wonderful. That's great. But I mean, seriously, some people just, you're right. You are right. It is, well, anyway, That's kind of crazy, but hey, some people, good for him. Good for him. But $10 million twice. Well, this is also by Ben Hooper, and this is pretty interesting. A gigantic inflatable Santa Claus is drawing visitors to a Texas neighborhood. So what? I mean, it's Christmas. Why is that a big story? The problem is its origins are a mystery. So residents of Holly Tree area in Tyler said that the not so little Saint Nick appeared on a vacant lot about a week ago, and it quickly became popular with residents. Okay. Nobody lives on this lot, so we don't know who installed Santa. But isn't that fun? Resident Marcia Daugherty said to KETK-TV. Locals have been flocking to see the mysterious and massive Santa, with photos of the decoration dwarfing children and adults alike spreading on social media. Quote, I was shocked when I first saw it, and I thought it was so big. A youngster, Nate Nevada, said, my family and I like to drive by it at night. That's pretty, I mean, it's pretty cool. But here's a question. Thank you. Here's a question that I have for that. So it's on a vacant lot. Okay. But it's one of those big, huge inflatable Santas. And from my understanding, I don't have one, but from my understanding, I've seen them. You have to plug it up into an electric socket somewhere to keep, obviously, the from it deflating. So that's kind of interesting. I'd have to, I mean, somebody's paying for the electricity. I don't know. Here's another great story about a woman who wins the lottery as well, twice. What in the world? They got to tell me that these people have to tell me the secret. A Massachusetts woman returned to her lucky store a week after collecting a $25 million jackpot from a scratch-off lottery ticket and won another $500. Desiree Fortini Craft, who previously collected a $1 million lottery prize in 2006, won the $25 million top prize from a $1 billion extravaganza scratch-off ticket she purchased from Baker Street Market in West Roxbury. Wow, the Massachusetts State Lottery said. So she revealed the top prize and stowed the ticket away in a safe place while she took a vacation to Aruba. See, listen. Did you just hear what I did? This woman said she revealed the top prize, then stowed the ticket away in a safe place while she took a vacation to Aruba with her fiance. Let me tell you, if I win $25 million, I'm not going to stow that ticket anywhere. What I'm going to immediately go to the lottery office and say, here it is now. Where's my check? There's no way I'm going to stow that. No way. Could you imagine that? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't stow it away. I mean, $25 million. I'd be at the lottery office that morning as soon as it opens up. And there we go. The red lady, that's a good question. Do you get more from subscribing or gifting? Actually, if you want to really help the ministry, the best way is to go to my website, bishopjameslong.com, and scroll down to where it says donation. I love TikTok, but TikTok does take 70% of the gifts. So while, let's say if someone gives you, let's say $100, one of those $100 things, I don't know what it is. Maybe a universe, I'm not for sure. But if it actually costs you $100 and then you send that to somebody, they only get $30. They don't get the $100 because TikTok takes 70%. And that's all the gifts. So, it really is the best way. Well, they must have changed it then because it used to be 75. So you're saying 50? I'll have to look into that. But yeah, they were just, why are you begging? Well, Jimmy says, why are you begging, bro? Well, I'm not begging. I'm not begging at all. Someone asked a question. And Jimmy, I tell you what, and this is what I do all the time. So Jimmy Jam 8882. I don't get paid as clergy. And I have thousands and thousands and thousands of emails from people all over the world who are asking me, well, it's 15,000 emails right there, asking me to come to their home to bless their homes. Now, because I don't get paid as clergy, I have to find a way to get to their home, Jimmy. And I have not won the lottery yet. So for me to get to someone's home and stay at a hotel for 3-4 days, depending on how violent the activity is, I could easily be spending $1,000 to $1,500. Now, I have 15,000 emails just there. So people who help with this ministry understand I could be charging, Jimmy, I could be charging $5,000 for an exorcism. 5,000 easy. There's many people doing it, but I don't charge. Don't charge a penny. Never have. So Jimmy, God forbid, if you or one of your family members needed help and you contact a clergy and they say, sure, I'll come over to your place for $5,000. And you don't have $5,000. Most people don't. I don't know if you do or not, but you would thank God that there would be a Bishop Long out there who actually says, yep, I'll find a way to get to your home some way and doesn't ask for a penny. So I hope that answers your question. So anyway, she was asking a question and I answered it. But see, what you're right. They do. They're very judgmental. However, the one thing they don't do is they love to throw out criticism, but they never once, I've said this before, they never once say, you know what, Bishop Long, do you have a family that you're going to go to? And I'll be more than happy to sponsor that family. They never do that. They never sponsor, but they offer their criticism for free, don't they? I'll pray for you, Jimmy. So, well, I mean, I understand that, but a lot of people just don't have the funds. They don't even for charge, even for traveling, because if I have to take a flight and then I have to get a rental car, and then I have to get the hotel, that's very expensive. That's not cheap. Don't pray for me. I'm good. I'll pray for you anyway, because if you go into clergy's live and you're aggressive and you're mean with a kind of comment, well, anyway, she muted him. Well, okay. I don't know how to unmute. I don't know how to unmute. How do you unmute on TikTok? So anyway, that's the story. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. He can come out. Oh, he can go out and come back. There you go. There you go, Jimmy. You can go out and then come back in. How's that? So Jimmy, just come back and come back in. So there you go. Someone has been going through. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I know there's a lot of people who are going through some heavy stuff right now. A lot of people. How can you help them? Well, it depends. When you say going through hell, you have to explain that one. You have to explain that. So when you say, because hell is subjective, I mean, when you say hell, what are they going through? So yeah, we'll see if Jimmy leaves and comes back in. Come on in there, Jimmy. Come on in there, Jimmy. I don't know if we see him or not, but anyway. Oh, you don't have to apologize. You're just doing you're just doing your thing. You're doing your thing. Yeah. It might be a delay. Yeah. Well, hello there. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Yeah. And again, if you have any questions at all, feel free to jump in. You just saw me on TV, huh? So what show did you see me on? Was it the Legion of Exorcists show? Well, hello there. I agree, Lady V. I agree 100%. Lady V says, not everyone is qualified to help. I feel there should be some correspondence with the church for some cases to ensure proper handling. Isn't that it? Yeah. Yeah, I've been on television. I've been on a lot of television shows. I've been, well, I mean, National Geographic, Travel Channel, A&E, Ghost Adventures, and then I was a cast member of the Eli Roth Presents Legion of Exorcists show. There was, I've done several documentaries with the Booth brothers, the Exorcist story. Well, several. Anyway, that's when I first. You have to understand when I first started. Yeah, when I first started, when I went public with my ministry, there was no old Catholic clergy helping the paranormal community. There was none. So I was it. So there's a moderator who muted someone for saying TikTok is literally pulling our pants. I know what you're talking about. Okay. Okay, so let's what do you do when doubt creeps in your face? Doubt never creeps in my face. Will, that's one thing that I have. My faith is unwavering. It absolutely is unwavering. As a matter of fact, it's my faith that actually keeps me going, especially with the negativity in this world. And there's a lot of negativity, and I don't understand it. I don't understand the hate. I don't understand the negativity, and it just seems to be even more and more and more. But my faith, I don't allow my faith to. It actually, like I said, is my faith that has kept me going. How do you keep your faith when life gets hard? Actually, it's when life gets hard is when I really lean on my faith. There's a song. It's one of my favorite songs in the entire world. Unbelievable. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. And a hymn. And it's called It Is Well. And it is... I don't know if you've ever heard it before, because I can't play it, because if I do, then I'll be tagged by Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and everybody else. But it is one of the most beautiful hymns, I think. And a lot of people don't know the history behind it. So you said Christians can be possessed. Is that by only letting them by communicate? Yeah, I mean that's really ultimately Christians can be possessed, and because just because you're a Christian, that doesn't mean that your free will goes away. So if you're a Christian, for example, you can go to a location that's known to have demonic infestation, and the moment you go there and you say, "Can you do something? Can you push me? Can you whatever?" Well, that's invitation. So the free will doesn't go away because you're a Christian. So there's this theory that if you're a Christian, you can't be possessed. That is not true. I'm telling you, that is absolutely 100% not true. And I think we have to be very, very careful. Very careful. Yeah, It Is Well. By the way, for those of you who don't know, it's a powerful. It showcases the incredible faith and resilience on the face of a great tragedy. The hymn was actually written by Horatio Spafford. He was a successful lawyer and a devout Christian. He lived in Chicago in the 19th century. And so what happened is in 1871, Spafford experienced a series of devastating events. So first, his young son passed from scarlet fever. And then shortly after, the great Chicago fire swept through the entire city, destroying most of his properties, causing significant financial loss. Despite these tragedies, Spafford and his wife, Anna, were determined to rebuild and to heal from their losses. So in 1873, the Spaffords decided to go on a trip to Europe to assist with relief efforts in England. And Horatio had some last-minute business to attend to. So he sent his wife and 4 daughters ahead on a luxury liner, and with plans to meet them in Europe. Well, tragically, the ship collided with another vessel in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and sank within 12 minutes. Only 47 of the 226 passengers survived, and all 4 of the Spafford's daughters perished in the accident. Anna was one of the few survivors, by the way. So when Horatio received the devastating news, he immediately sailed to be with his grieving wife. And as his own ship passed near the location where this luxury ship sank, Horatio found solace in his deep faith and wrote the now famous hymn, "It is well. It is well with my soul." That's the name of it. It is well with my soul. So the words of the hymn expressed his profound trust in God's plan and the peace that he actually found in the midst of this horrible tragedy. So yeah, I agree. There's no doubt, Will, his faith, but it is called "It Is Well with My Soul," and it is just a powerful, powerful song. Powerful song. So yeah. Well, yeah, no, Jennifer, Jennifer, the reason is I wanted that one individual to come through is because I didn't want to mute him. I don't want to mute the guy. He was being nasty. I just wanted to block him. I just wanted to get the pleasure of blocking him. That was it. So that was like, you know what? No, he doesn't deserve a mute. He deserves a permanent block. So that's what I wanted to do. Block. No. You were right on target. You were right. You are absolutely right. But that's a powerful. It really is a powerful testament of his own faith. By the way, for those of you who know about the Conjuring House, I don't know if you're familiar with this. This is by Sarah Doran, the owner of the famed Conjuring House in Rhode Island. Is setting the record straight. You might not have heard of this, on what caused a fire in the nearby barn earlier this week. And they said, quote, "Neither Bathsheba Sherman, the crooked neck lady, or any other spirit caused this fire." Jacqueline Nunez wrote in a statement referring to the house's paranormal lore. The fire broke out inside the 2,000 square foot barn in Barrelville early Monday morning and took approximately 3 hours to knock down, according to Nunez. She said, quote, "We are relieved that the barn is still standing." She said, "We will not know what is salvageable until advised by our structural engineers." The fire did not affect the house, which was built in 1836 and made famous by the 2013 horror blockbuster The Conjuring. The movie is loosely based off the paranormal activity that the Perron family reportedly experienced while living in the house in the 1970s. So Nunez said that the barn fire was likely caused by improperly disposed material spontaneously combusting inside a trash bag left in the barn. So she said it was an accident and it was not intentionally set, and no one was injured in the fire. The barn does not appear to be a total loss. So, by the way, Nunez bought the Conjuring House last year for roughly $1.5 million. So there we go. It is that's straight from the owner's mouth. No spirits, no whatever. It was just an accident. Because everybody's going around, "Oh my goodness, it's the spirits, it's the spirits." She's like, "Please, folks, stop. It's not." So there we go. No spirits will be sued for the fire at the Conjuring House. Okay. How can you help her? How can you help who? Oh, certainly. Yeah. Are we talking about her? Are we talking about the house? Sorry, sometimes I look at the questions and I might miss. No. She's absolutely no poltergeist, no paranormal. The owner has absolutely said there absolutely 100% is nothing paranormal. This can be explained logically 100%. So, yeah, I'm curious about what you guys think about this. This is by Kalina Reynolds. And I don't know about this one. Waco is home to many different cultures and lifestyles. And while there's plenty of opportunities for those living in the city, what about those who are no longer living at all? So this is by Kalina Reynolds. Little do most people know that some of Waco's most famous tourist spots are allegedly home of a multitude of ghosts. Dr. Cindy Little, a parapsychological researcher and paranormal investigator in Waco, she says a ghost tour guide at Dr. Pepper Museum. According to the museum website, Ghost Tours, the guides are currently offering paranormal tours on Saturdays to lead you through both historic buildings, including our otherwise off-limits basement, to hear about the museum's history and investigate its paranormal activity for yourself with investigative tools such as EMF readers. The Dr. Pepper Museum is actually pretty active, Little said. I've heard children's laughter and running on the second floor. Little said Cameron Park Zoo also had many paranormal sightings, some of the creepiest ones being with overnight kids camp. She said when the kids are doing their overnights, they'll have overnight stays for a group of kids like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and they'll have them sleep in the aquarium, Little said. And they're the workers who have seen a little black shadowy guy standing over the children. Little said workers have been seen a figure in the Lemoore enclosure. They'll see shadow people behind them and they'll turn around. And there's nobody there, Little said. As well as that, that buildings one time shook and they heard a voice yell at them, "Get out." And they got out. I'm just kind of curious about what you guys think about these particular, these old locations. A lot of people don't like people going to these older locations and then investigating them. People say, leave them alone. And I'm just curious about what, first of all, let me just say this. Now, I'll go on the record on this one. I do not believe that children should be paranormal investigating. Absolutely not. I just don't. That's my opinion. Because it can be dangerous already for adults. I think everybody there's so many people think that there's nothing to fear with paranormal investigating, that there's nothing can go wrong, nothing can happen, it's completely safe. It's not. It's not completely safe. And we really got to sometimes, I think, talk about this in the paranormal community, because there's a lot of people who think that it's okay for children to go paranormal investigating. Well, you're investigating something that you don't know what you're really investigating, and you really have no idea what the long-term effects are. I mean, it's bad enough when adults come tell me, hey, look, I'm having some violent activity in my home. And now you have children at the age of reason who are 12 and above who are going to these locations and having these issues too. So I'm not a big fan of that. I tell you, if I'm just not a fan of that. I would not let my niece, or of course my nephews are grown up now, but I have two relatively younger nieces, and I would not, there's no way. I just wouldn't. Because we really don't know with 100% certainty. We really don't know who we're communicating with. And people say, oh, yes, we do. No, we do not. We don't. You don't know. And so I'm just not a big fan of that, and people letting kids do that. Well, actually, I did a presentation on purgatory, and a lot of people don't like the whole purgatory idea. I don't really see a purgatory as being a problem. It's a concept in some religious beliefs, Catholicism, and it's believed to be a state or a place where souls undergo a purification after death before entering heaven. And in purgatory, souls are believed to be cleansed of their sins and the effects of those sins through prayer. It's seen as a temporary state, not a permanent state. So, but I don't see it's why purgatory is such a bad thing. I mean, we obviously are going to be we're sinful beings, and when we die in the state of sin, I think that sin has to be purged in some way, fashion. We don't know how that's done. Now, of course, if you have the last rites, that's different. That's difficult. That's different. I'm sorry, but some people believe that Lazarus was there. Now, the concept of purgatory is not explicitly mentioned in the Bible. It is a belief in some Christian traditions that after death, some souls may undergo a process. So the belief is based on the interpretation of certain biblical passage and teaching from early Christian writers to pray for the dead. So I mean, why would you pray for the dead if they're either in heaven or hell? So that's the concept of why purgatory was established. Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. And mystics have talked about too. Absolutely. Oh gosh, yeah. Ellen, is there a book for finding prayers for a specific reason? Yeah, actually, if you Google search specific prayers, there are a lot of websites out there. Specific prayers for specific reasons. Just Google that, and you will find a lot. Well, okay. Um, the concept of it's interesting. People, a lot of people are interested in purgatory. The concept of purgatory, actually, again, it has its roots in Catholic theology. While its exact origin, it's difficult really to determine. The idea of a place or state in which purification occurs after death can be traced back, like as I mentioned, to early Christian writers. The doctrine of purgatory was actually formalized and developed by theologians such as Augustine of Hippo in the 5th century, and then later by Pope Gregory the Great, and even Thomas Aquinas in the 13th century. So there are many great theologians, whether you like them or not. There are many great theologians who certainly argue for purgatory. I don't see an issue with purgatory. I just simply don't. Okay. Any other questions or thoughts? Or I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm not going to leave. I'm just going to close out. For those of you who are on Spreaker, I'm going to close you guys out. It's just easier to do that. That way I have one less program open because I have Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok, and then Spreaker. So if I just close them out, then that's just one less thing that I have to worry about. So good. That makes me good. All right. Argentina. Well, hello there, Argentina. And hello to all you guys. Welcome, 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 welcome. Oh, yeah, What Dreams May Come. Yeah, that was a very interesting movie. I do believe in ghosts. I do. I don't think that all ghosts are demons. I have not found that to be true. The first time that I investigated was 35 years ago at Waverly Hills in Louisville, Kentucky. Of course, I went up to Waverly. I've been to Waverly many, 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 many times because I live in Kentucky. And I have investigated thousands of locations through the years. I mean, 35 years is a long time. And people immediately say, well, all ghosts are demons. Well, I have not found that to be true. And I'm an investigator, so I investigate these places. I investigate homes, and I haven't found that to be true. I just haven't. Because if I go into an investigation, it's always violent and there's clear demonic manifestations, then I can say, based on my investigation, every case has been demonic. In this case, in this situation, I can't say that. I simply can't. Because spirits of being in purgatory ask for help. Well, that's why we do believe that you can pray for the repose of the souls. I have seen the fairies. That's great. Yeah. It's a really great book. A great movie. And that's the thing. And what kind of bothers me a little bit is there's a lot of people say, well, no, I believe all spirits are demons. And I ask them, well, based on what? Well, that's just what I think. Have you investigated? No. So, yeah, you sound so low compared to others. I sound low? When you say I sound low, oh, you mean I sound low? You say, well, you'll have to explain that to me. Jen, you'll have to explain that to me, please. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the microphone? Well, the microphone is not the best microphone. It's one of these. You can get them for like $5.99. Yeah, you can get them. You can get them for $5.99, or really not that bad. Yeah, sound low. It might be just my manly voice, Jen. I think that's what it is. My manly voice. Yeah, actually, there is a book. Someone's asking me on Messenger. There is no book that says you can pray for the dead. I wish you were right, but I can't agree with you. The book of Second Maccabees in the Catholic Bible does actually instruct believers to pray for the dead. So the Second Maccabees. There you go. Yeah, Tori, I got to tell you, Tori's asking, are orbs spirits? Not all orbs, no. As a matter of fact, As a matter of fact, I can say just the opposite. I cannot. Based on my experience, orbs are either dust or bugs. There's a person. Listen to this. This is cray. This is cray. Oh, okay, Jane. I'll explain the act of contrition. This is real cray. There's a guy, and I said this before a couple of weeks ago. Now, Miss Wilma believed this. Miss Wilma believed it because she doesn't know. She doesn't know anything about the paranormal, and it scares her. But she saw this preacher in the middle of the night holding a cross up, and she got mad when I told her. When I told her, I said, "Wilma, this is a fraud." She got mad because he was exorcising all the demons in a field. And his proof was this. He had a camera behind him and he was kicking up, bushes. There was like little bushes and he was kicking it. And as he was kicking it, all the bugs start flying up. Well, there were all these orbs everywhere. And he was telling people those are demons. And people believed it. And this guy is walking around at night, in the middle of the night, with a camera behind him, the night vision camera. And you can clearly see him kicking through the bushes. And all these bugs are flying around, and they're absolutely, it's the demons, it's the demon. And he's going around performing exorcisms on bugs. Well, the Old Testament is absolutely crucial. It's crucial because to understand the New Testament, you really have to understand the Old Testament, because it was Christ who actually fulfilled all the prophecies within the Old Testament. Good question, Alexander. You have to know that the Old Testament cannot be removed or thrown out or disregarded at all. Because for example, Alexander says, how important do you think the Old Testament is versus the New Testament? They're both vital. Because especially when you talk about Revelation, Daniel, and other books of the Bible that go hand in hand with Revelation. And not only that, but people ask me all the time, and I've said, and I told people this all the time, why did Jesus say, my God, why have you forsaken me," when he was on the cross? Because then they say, aha, that proves that Jesus was not the Son of God. No, it proves that Jesus was praying. Psalm 22. Because he was fulfilling prophecy. That is the suffering servant. So if you read Psalm 22, it starts out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" So that's what Jesus was doing. He was praying Psalms 22. So it's absolutely crucial to understand the Old Testament. And not only to understand it, but then to know the prophecies that, in fact, Christ fulfilled. Now, by the way, someone was asking, I forgot who it was, about the act of contrition. The act of contrition is actually said by Catholics as a way to express remorse for their sins. And forgiveness from God. It's typically said during the sacrament of reconciliation, or some people know it as confession. And there are many different ways. I was always taught, my God, oh my God, I'm sorry for my sins and choosing to sin and failing to do good. I've sinned against you and the church. I firmly intend, with the help of your Son, to make up for my sins and to love as I should. Now, there's other verbiage or words that they use, but it's the same thing. And by saying this prayer, the individual is acknowledging their wrongdoings. They express genuine sorrow. They're making a perfect contrition. And they resolve to change their behavior. With the help of God's grace, of course. And so that's why we do that. Yep. So yeah, we can't throw out the Old Testament and the act. Hopefully that answers your question about confession. Yeah, thank you. That's right. It is. Well, penance. That's a bit different. Now, penance is what the priest will give you after you make the contrition. He said, "Okay, your penance is." So it's more. They used to teach it as punishment. I really don't like that. I think it's more of a self-reflection. So the penance will say that sometimes it might be Hail Marys or Our Fathers, or it might be if you were very selfish or you're very hateful to the homeless, then a penance could be something about, well, I want you to go to the homeless shelter and I want you to feed. I want you to volunteer. So that could be something like a penance, if that would be possible for you to do. Okay, so hopefully that helps. That's penance. So the act of contrition is you tell your sins, you confess your sins, and then you'll make your act of contrition, and then you'll receive your penance. Yep, you're welcome. Well, someone's sending me a message on Messenger saying confession is stupid. It's not biblical. That's not right. Actually, that's incorrect. I would agree with you if you were right. Actually, Jesus instructed his disciples to forgive sins of others in various passages throughout the New Testament. If you read Matthew chapter 28, verses 21 through 22, Peter asked Jesus how many times should he forgive someone who sins against him. And Jesus said, I don't say 7 times, but 70 times. And then another example, of course, in the Gospel of John in chapter 20, verse 23, where Jesus appears to his disciples after the resurrection. And he says, if you forgive anyone's sins, their sins are forgiven. If you do not forgive them, their sins are not forgiven. So Jesus is who established the sacrament of reconciliation. That's why it is a sacrament. Jesus established it. So there we go. That's right. That's right. Well, there's a lot of theology questions out there. Well, hello there, James. A lot of good questions. That's interesting that so many people have theology questions. I think people are just so hungry for information on theology, which is good. I'm very good. Thank you. Hopefully you're doing well. No. Christmas tree. We don't worship a tree. We're not. See that there's a lot of things about that, about worshiping a tree, and I don't worship a Christmas tree. You know, I think people go a little bit too much. Don't you think so? I mean, that's just my opinion. I understand. Some people have. So, I'm trying to read this here. No, we don't worship trees. I don't worship trees. I've seen a black orb. Yeah, I do go. I go to Christ. I didn't. Again, why do you not believe it's best? I never said it's not. So you got to be very careful with a question, because it's a leading question, and it implies that I believe it is better to go to confession rather to go to Christ. And I actually don't believe that at all. I think you absolutely can go to Christ. But I also believe that the sacrament of reconciliation is very good. I have received the sacrament of reconciliation, and afterwards, with my spiritual director, it's a tremendous relief. That's just my experience. Yeah, well, you're talking, okay, Deuteronomy. Now, remember that, folks, there's a lot of people asking questions. I have questions, people asking me questions on Twitter, sending me message on Twitter. They're sending me private messages on Messenger. I got questions here, and I got questions on this other computer too. So there's a lot of people asking questions, folks. Deuteronomy 16, chapter 21 that you're referring to, it addresses the practice of worshiping trees, specifically the form of idolatry. The verse actually states, for those of you who are interested, you shall not plant for yourself an Asherah of any kind of tree besides the altar of your Lord your God, which you shall make for yourself. So you have to understand, look, in biblical time, this is why it's important to teach history. This is why preachers need to teach. See, preaching is fine. And there's nothing wrong with preaching. But if you're not teaching while you are preaching, then you're doing it wrong. So here's why. In biblical times, the Israelites' neighbors often worship gods and goddesses associated with nature, such as Asherah, and often, by the way, represented by a tree or a wooden pillar. So in this verse, God is instructing the Israelites not to adopt or participate in these pagan practices. It prohibits against planting an Asherah tree near the altar of the Lord. It's intended to discourage the worship of false gods and reinforce the exclusive worship of the one true God. So this is the Bible is monotheism, one God, and warns against worshiping other false gods. So that's why it was talking about the tree, because they were worshiping pagan gods that were associated with trees. I don't worship at all. I don't worship the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree is not my God. I don't worship any god, any pagan god that's associated with the Christmas tree. But I don't find it evil at all by having a simple Christmas tree that's put lights on it and ornaments, and now all of a sudden I'm pagan. I think we've gone too far. We're going to the extreme. And then it's very dangerous because people are not properly teaching this. So I just think it's bad. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. People just got to relax a little bit. Relax. I mean, it's Christmas tree, for God's sakes. I'm not worshiping a pagan god that's associated with a tree. A Gregorian chant. It's a form of plain chant, a style of medieval Christian liturgical music. It's named after actually Pope Gregory the First, who is believed, by the way, to have codified and organized the chants in the 6th century. So it's pretty ancient. Gregorian chant is characterized by a monophonic melody, which is sung without instrumental accompaniment. And it is typically performed by a choir or a small group of singers. When I studied with the Benedictines in the Roman seminary, I had the honor and the true pleasure of being able to do the liturgy of the hours and hear them chant and chant alongside with them, as well as Mass. And I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Sometimes many times actually, there's Latin. And it's primarily used in the Roman Catholic liturgical services. But not all, certainly not all liturgical services, and the Catholics will do this. Gregorian chant played a significant role in the early development of Western classical music, and I think it's beautiful. Yep, there we go. No, we should always forgive. Alexander, we should always forgive, because forgiveness is not necessary. Forgiveness is not for that person who done you harm. Forgiveness is allowing you to get rid of that negativity, get rid of that anger, get rid of that resentment. And it's important for you. Yeah, you got to free yourself. That's right. You have to free yourself from that anger. And sometimes that hatred, because that hatred can build in, and also there are other things too. It's very beneficial. Let me just a couple of things, and this is why I tell people, and this is certainly that I learned in the seminary. There are several reasons that you should forgive. First of all, it's emotional healing. Holding on to grudges and resentment, it can take a toll on our emotional well-being. Forgiving others allows us to let go of the negative emotions, and it helps us find inner peace. Because if you hold on to that anger and that resentment, it builds up. It builds like a cancer. It builds up. It's also very good for a stress reduction. Reduces stress. Holding on to anger and resentment, it can lead to actually chronic stress. And so forgiveness helps lower that stress level. It doesn't mean that you are giving that person a free pass. It means that you're giving yourself permission to let go of the anger. And for personal growth, it's very important because it requires empathy, understanding, compassion, even if the person is not sorry. And then it breaks that cycle of negativity. So when you forgive, we break that cycle of that negativity and that resentment. It allows us to respond with love, as Christ did, instead of perpetuating a cycle of hurt and anger. You know, anybody can respond with anger and fury, but it takes a real strong person to respond with love and compassion and forgiveness. That's a powerful person. Yeah. And it takes it, and I listen, I've been burnt when I went public with my ministry. I had death threats. I had death threats. People were spreading the worst kind of lies about me. Man, it was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, the things that people were saying, they didn't even know me, but they were just going on online. And this was when social media, this was back in 2003, 2004, 2005. And it was just horrible, saying that I never went to the seminary, that I was all a lie, and I didn't have degrees, and I was all a fraud, and all this other stuff. And it got so bad. And then people were actually sending me death threats. So when I went to church, when we had mass, I actually had a gun on my body under my vestments because the death threats were that severe, that serious. We actually had a plainclothes police officer in the back of the church. When I went to paranormal conferences, they actually had to hire four in Indianapolis. They had to have 4 police officers behind me. And here I am talking to people about their spiritual issues and blessing them. That's what I did. And it was all because these people it was in the paranormal. The people in the paranormal that happened not long after, because as soon as I went public, then the networks called and the producers called, and I did shows and I talked about the paranormal and all this, because they don't like the fact that I welcome everybody, no matter who you are. No matter who you are welcome to the church community that I belong to. I defend people who are the voiceless. I won't allow people to bully others. And so these people saw me as a threat for whatever stupid reason. And it was terrible. That was terrible. It was horrible. But I just you just kept pushing on, and that's what I did. But it was nonsense. It was just utter nonsense, stupid. But that's what happened in 2000. Because see, when I went public with my ministry, online radio, it was just in its infancy. So there was no streaming like this. It was just online radio. Blog Talk Radio came out, but then I got involved with a 24/7 paranormal network, and that was in its infancy at that time, and it exploded. I mean, people all over the paranormal were doing this, and then they went on radio and just blasting, saying some. So they were saying some of the worst, nastiest things about that. I never went to the seminary, that I lied. I indicted them all. The degrees I have are fake. And it got so bad. Now get this. I actually posted my transcripts online on Facebook because it was that vicious. So I went online and said, fine. Okay. Here are all the transcripts. They saw everything. Here's all the degrees, everything. Transcripts for the doctorate, transcripts for the Master of Divinity, transcripts for the Master of Education in Business, and the bachelor's at Loyola University in Chicago. I had everything. All my transcripts, all the grades, everything. There it is. That's what I had to do. And even after that, people still were spreading the lies. So I had to do it. Yeah, it was just, oh, no. Misty. I don't know how long you've been in, but let me tell you something. In 2003, 2004, 2005, it was vicious. It's bad now, but it was cutthroat. It was really, really vicious. So, yeah. But, so after I posted it on there, and kid just kept going, just kept pushing on. Just, you know what? It was bad. I mean, the hate and the death threats were so severe that I was sent to the hospital in an ambulance because they thought I was having a heart attack. And I went to that was the Baptist East in Louisville, and it was just ridiculous. So I've had to learn to let go of the nonsense. Just let go of it. Because I was so angry. Why are these people doing this? I've done nothing. I've done nothing to them. Nothing. Why are they doing this? And then my mom always told me. And I remember that one night when she told me, she said, James, I want you to listen to me one more time. You worry about the things you can control. Let go of the things that you can't. And it was that moment, because she had said that to me before, but it was at that moment that it was like, finally the light bulb clicked. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. So, yeah. Have you had a excess? I don't understand. What does it mean? Ryan, have you had a ex? I don't know what that means. So you have to explain that to me there, Ryan. No, she passed. Yep, she passed. She is resting well with baby Jesus. But that's where I think that's where I get my my mom was a no nonsense type of she didn't put up with nonsense. She just didn't. She didn't have time for it. You know, she just and she was a tough cookie. I mean, she just, you know, she wouldn't, she just pushed through. She was a powerful person. Well, good morning there, sweet. And has she come to see me? Actually, yes, Sandy. Yeah. So Sandy's asking, has she come to see you? Yeah. I had a have you ever had an exorcist story? Sorry, I am an exorcist. I've performed 31 exorcisms. Actually, what happened is I was having an upper scope, and apparently something happened during the procedure. And I remember, here's what I remember what happened. So I remember them putting the mask on me to knock me out. And then the only thing that I remember is I remember waking up. Now, I wasn't physically awake. It's hard, but I knew I was awake. And I heard this really loud sound behind me, and I could not figure out what that loud sound was. And for some reason, I couldn't turn around. And it never dawned on me that I was the patient. But I saw this doctor over to my left, and he was panicking. I mean, he was really freaking out. And he was saying something. I couldn't understand it, but I wanted to calm him down, because I wanted to say, dude, just relax. It's going to be okay. How can I help you? But it never dawned on me that I was the patient. That never, ever entered my mind. And I remember, again, I know it's cliche, but the brightest light right behind this guy, and a silhouette came right behind him. And it was a woman. I could tell it was a woman for the hair. And she came closer and closer. And at first I didn't recognize her, but I knew her, but I didn't recognize her. And I got close, and I looked closer and closer, and I thought, that's Mom. Now, she looked younger. She was radiating with joy. I mean, the joy, I cannot describe the joy. There are no words. Unbelievable joy. And I remember she placed her hand on his shoulders, the doctor's shoulders. He took a deep breath, and then he said something, and then that noise went off behind me. And she looked at me, she nodded, she smiled, and she faded away. Now, here's what's interesting about this story. A lot of people say, well, it could have been a dream. You know, you could. Well, first of all, a couple things. Number one, on the way from the operating room to the recovery room, apparently I was screaming at the top of my lungs, I saw Mom. I don't remember that. I was still under anesthesia. So I get into the recovery room, and then I come to, and then I see Jennifer, my sister, and I said, Jennifer, I saw Mom. I saw Mom. And she's like, we know, the whole hospital know, you were screaming. She said, I heard you all the way down the hall. I have no memory of that. I was still under propofol. I was still under anesthesia. But I know I saw her. Now, I had Dr. Jeffrey Long on this show. Dr. Long is the world leading expert, and he's a medical doctor. He is the world leading expert on near-death experiences. And he's brilliant. And he said, James, you realize you died. And I said, well, no, how can you be so sure? He said, number one, there's no such thing as dreaming in propofol. It is a 0% chance. It can't happen. Now, he's a medical doctor. It can't happen, he said. It's not possible. He said, and first of all, and secondly, your mom worked in cardiology. You had some cardiac issue because that loud screaming machine going off behind you was the anesthesiologist machine going off because you flatline. And it makes this horrible, loud noise to alert the doctors. Okay, I didn't know that. And he said, and also your mom placed her hand on the doctor's shoulders. She said, you realize that she was guiding him because she worked in cardiology. Now that, when he told me that, I didn't even think about that. And then he said, there is no way, it is a 0% chance that you could have faked from the operating room to the recovery room screaming that you saw your mom. You couldn't have faked that because you were still under anesthesia. So that's a 0% chance you could do that. So he said, based on that, you had some type of cardiac issue where you flatlined and you saw your mom. Now, here's the deal. I know what a dream is. I'm not dumb. I know what a dream is. This was not a dream. I was fully aware of my surrounding. I knew I was in an operating room. I knew that this guy was a doctor. I didn't know I was the patient. I didn't know what that loud machine was, that noise was going off behind me, and I couldn't turn around. I don't know why. But that I do know. So there was total consciousness. I was completely aware, like I am now, 100% aware. So yeah, I mean, she came to me then, but I'll never forget that. I'll never will I forget that. I've talked to a lot of people who've had near-death experiences, and it's powerful, but when you actually experience it, but the joy, I mean, Your Excellency, you seem very young when you were, well, I appreciate that, but I'm actually in my 50s, but thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I tell you, that was a very powerful experience. Very, very powerful. Yeah, you can kind of see the gray there, can't you? See, that's one of the reasons why I don't grow the beard in, because if I do that, it's all gray. You know, got to wash that gray right out of my hair. Yeah, I'm showing my age. But yeah, I tell you what, it was powerful. See, so that's why people ask me about my faith. Prayer against demonic manipulation on your soul. Demonic can't affect your soul. Demonic can affect your body. Demonic can not affect your soul. Your soul belongs to God. Demonic has no control of your soul. None. None at all. So don't ever think they do. Ever. Because the moment that you begin to think that demonic entities have control of your soul, then you tell me that they are actually more powerful than God. Nope, they are not. They are not. Demons are parasites. They are cockroaches. They are cowards. They are nothing to be feared because you are a child of God. The moment you begin to pray is the moment that demons begin to tremble in fear. And therefore, you do not negotiate with that ideology at all. Oh, thank you. It's Lazarus, the rich man, hell and purgatory. Yeah, it's true though. Okay. Sorry, it's kind of, I don't have my glasses on. It's kind of difficult. Someone's asking, someone is asking about the rich man. Was that? Well, in the scripture of Lazarus and the rich man, it's actually found in Luke. I think it's chapter 19. No. Luke chapter 16, verse, I think 19 through 30 or something like that, or 20 through 30. I know it's in Luke chapter 16, verse, I think 19 through 29 or so. I don't. Anyway, the rich man is depicted. I don't have every verse memorized in the Bible. I'm not a computer, but not the same that you are. But not you think that I should. But I know it's in Luke 16, 19, verse 19. It's the rich man is actually depicted as being in hell after he dies, while Lazarus is in heaven. Why is God allowing evil in the world? That's $1 million question, isn't it? Red Lady. Why does God allow evil in the world? 2 words. Free will. See, you cannot say that God gives us unconditional free will, but only allows good to happen. Well, therefore, that's not free will. So if you're going to give your creation complete autonomy, then negative aspects are going to occur. And we blame God for the actions of man. Why don't we blame the actions of the negative actions on the person who actually committed those evil acts and not against God? Because you can't. We want free will. We like free will. We don't want someone controlling us. And yet, when we are given that free will, we are then angry that someone chooses to exercise the free will to do evil. We can't have your cake and eat it too. So this is why I believe in hell. I believe hell does exist. I believe heaven exists. And I also believe that we will be held accountable to account for our actions. But we can't be angry with God and at the same, because of bad things that happen in this world, and yet at the same time say, but we want our free will. So you can't have both. Then it's not free will. So I don't believe heaven exists outside of time and space. So heaven is not restricted in time or space. So I believe that now, of course, people say that the scripture will say, people say, well, no, when we die, we're resting to the grave until the second coming occurs, and then we're all judged. However, that the person is thinking in a time period aspect, and within death, time doesn't exist. And so I think it's an instant. We can't conceptualize this because we are restricted in time or space, but death is not. I don't buy that. So you're saying an innocent child who gets cancer is because they're evil? I never said that. I never said that at all. Kayla, I never said that. I never, ever did I say that. The question was why does God allow evil to occur? And my answer was because we want free will. And if we want free will, we cannot then say that God will only allow good things to happen. Then that is not free will. I never said anything. I never said anything about justification of child having cancer. That was not the question. So I never said that. Again, be careful about implying or assuming, but a child with cancer never asked for free will. But the child has free will. The child did nothing. Okay, we weren't talking about a child with cancer. You're confusing 2 different questions. The question was, why does God allow evil to occur? That was the question. The answer is because God gives us free will, meaning that if man chooses to go out and rob or hurt or do something evil, God allows us free will, complete autonomy. You cannot say, I give you free will with restrictions. Then that is not free will. Now, your question is why do children get cancer? Those are 2 separate questions, because I never said that the child deserved cancer ever, nor would I ever say that. But I am going to answer the question with this. None of us are guaranteed 5 minutes from now. None of us. The moment we are conceived is the moment that we become terminal. And you have to wrap your arms around that. Now, am I implying that that justifies or explains child cancer? Of course not. I've had many family members who've passed away from cancer. Many family members. My mom, my uncle, my aunt. I mean, there are many people. But we understand that cancer, when anybody is terrible, cancer with a child, of course, is terrible. But we have to understand that we are not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed 5 minutes from now. I'm not guaranteed to be here tomorrow. This could be my absolute last streaming. God could say, okay, James, you're coming home tonight. And I'm okay. Because I know that this is not the permanent stop. This is a transition into eternity. So this is a temporary stop. While we're here, we are trying to show compassion and love without judgment, without condemnation. We're trying to help each other, lift each other up, not tear each other down. My God, we have plenty of that going on now. Plenty. I think we need a little bit more compassion, a little bit more empathy. So I'm not here. None of us are guaranteed. None of us. Demons help me get your job. Okay, AJ. Demons may help you get your job, but what you've just done is you've committed blasphemy. I don't know why you would. I understand it's confusing. Let me tell you something, Kaya and Bailey. I do understand. I'm a chaplain for the hospital. I've seen a lot of people passing away. I've seen a lot of people in the 90s who lived a long life, and I've seen a lot of kids. And yeah, of course, it's frustrating when you see that beautiful life, so short. That's upsetting. Of course, it's upsetting. But instead of getting angry with the source that gives us eternal life, I get angry with the devil. I get angry with Satan, who convinces people that he can give them jobs, that he can give them a life that they dream of if they just turn away from God. And then when all hell breaks loose in their life later on, then they want to know why. I think AJ, you said that the demons gave you your job. Sunshine, let me tell you something. You may have a great job now, but I will tell you this right now. You will reach out to me one day. As God is my witness, you'll be reaching out to me. I promise. Because if you think they're doing that out of the kindness of their heart, my friend, you don't realize that the devil's already eaten you. I understand that people, it is upsetting when you see such young life, but I get angry. I get angry at the proper source, and I'm just grateful to have a God that loves me and you unconditionally, and that will grant us eternal life, so that we no longer have to suffer from cancer. We no longer have to suffer from sadness and losing a loved one. That to me. That alone is justification for me to worship that one God. I don't get angry because I don't get angry with God, because I think sometimes, or many times, we put the blame on God when God wasn't the one who caused the negative act. We get so angry with God. But what more can God do? I mean, seriously, what more can he do? We see throughout history, biblical history, we see everything that God said, look, this is what I want. This is what I need you to do. This is how you can live a good life. we reject. And then he incarnates into Jesus, and we crucify him. But yet he still gives us eternal life, even after all that. And then we get angry with God. What more can God do for us? How much more are we going to demand of God? I don't understand. I don't understand it. So no, I don't get angry with God. I get angry with the devil, or what the devil causes. There was a story, true story, where a man had lost his faith. And he had a wife and children, and they had kept their faith, and it was they wanted to go to midnight mass. And this guy, he loved animals, loved them, passionate about protecting them. And it was snowing, starting to snow, but his wife and the children decided to go to midnight mass. And the church wasn't far from this, but it was kind of like in a country setting. And it started to snow pretty bad. And he got worried about his wife because his wife is at midnight mass. But then the snow started getting really, really bad. And the blizzard started coming. And he kept hearing a loud thud, a really loud thud. And he thought, what in the world's going on? So he looked outside and he couldn't really see because the blizzard was so bad. And he kept looking closer and closer. And he said, well, I got to go outside and find out what's going on. So he went out to the barn. And he took his light and he saw the geese flying into the sides of the barn. And they were just dying left and right because they were so disoriented from the storm. And this really upset this old man because he thought, I can't have this. I don't want to see this. This is terrible, because he loved animals. So he thought, okay, I know what I'll do. I'll open the barn and they'll fly in. But they kept flying into the sides of the barn. And he thought, well, what more do you need? I'm opening the door for you. Come in. So he said, okay. So then he opened lanterns. He lit all the lanterns. I mean, he lit it up as bright as he could. Now he said, okay, now it's light. Now they'll fly in because it's storm and it's at night and they'll fly. And they still kept hitting the sides of the barn and dying. And he was frustrated. And he opened the doors wider and they kept doing it. And he was even more frustrated. He's done everything. And then he said, if I could just become one of them, then I can tell them, go into the barn. It's safe. It's warm. And the church bells rang out. And he dropped to his knees and he realized for the first time in his life why God became man. And I think you understand the moral of the story, the whole point of that story. And yet we get angry with God, even though he's done everything. He's opened the doors. He's turned the lights on. He did the doors even wider, and then even became one of his own creation, even depending on us. He was a baby. He depended on Mary and Joseph. That is an unconditional loving God. And that's the type of God that we have. Yeah, Chase, you can ask a question. People are going to be hateful. And then people are also going to be loving. You can look at life in negativity, or you can look at life. I've seen unbelievable beauty in people. I've seen nasty in people too. But I refuse to focus on that, because the devil wants you to say, don't look over here. Look over here. Look, I did not say, again, you're not going to get me into an argument. You're not going to trap me into an argument, blaming God for cancer, blaming God for leukemia, blaming God for all this stuff. You're not going to do it. I'm not going to go down that road, because I don't blame God for leukemia. I don't blame God for cancer. And that is a very easy way for evil through ordinary demonic activity to convince you that God allows all this terrible stuff to happen. So how can he possibly love us? That implies then that we expect to live a life for eternity here on earth. We all want to get to heaven. We just don't want to have to do what we have to do to get there. I mean, we're all fellow journeyers. We're all fellow travelers to the grave. Every one of us, you and me, we're all fellow travelers to the grave. So you can either continue blaming God for everything and giving God credit for nothing, while the devil sits back here, and perhaps maybe, it's the devil who created cancer. It's the devil who created leukemia. It's the devil who created disease, because he did. We keep forgetting Adam and Eve. We had a perfect life, a perfect existence, free from death. The serpent creeped in. Oh, no. God's just jealous of you. Go ahead and eat the apple. The moral of the story, whether or not you believe Adam and Eve exist, the moral of the story is to remind us that the devil is always reminding us that he, the devil, it, is the innocent one. That God does all this terrible stuff, but yet it is the devil's master plan to cause death. It is the devil's master plan to cause destruction. And it is God's master plan to grant us eternal life. So why blame God for the actions of the demonic? And I'm telling you, whether you believe the demon or not, whether you believe possession or not, I'm going to tell you this, and I've said this before. Now, and again, I'm not saying this for braggadocious. I'm saying this to let you know I put everything on the plate, everything right here on you. So listen, I have a doctorate in ministry. I have a master's of divinity, a master of education, a master of business, a bachelor of communication and journalism, and an associate of philosophy. I went to Loyola University in Chicago. I graduated at Sullivan University, summa cum laude, and a magna cum laude at Argosy University when I received my master's of education. I do not charge 1 penny for this ministry. Not 1 penny. Never have in over 20 years. If I did not know that possession existed, I'd do something else with my time. That is a promise. I certainly wouldn't be here after 2 hours and 6 minutes. If I had any doubt that possession existed, I would be doing something else with my time. There are many people that will say demons don't exist. You're wrong. Plain and simple. Possession doesn't exist. You're wrong. And you're misleading people by making a statement in which you have no knowledge whatsoever of what you're speaking of. Just an opinion. I am speaking to you of someone who's actually seen and experienced possession as an exorcist, and I am telling you it does exist, regardless if someone likes it or not. And therefore, if it exists, then we must conclude that the devil exists. The devil exists, whether you like it or not. So I speak for the devil. No, JS or whatever your name is, block. Bye-bye. I speak for the devil. You see how ignorant that is? I've been speaking about God for the 2 hours and 6 minutes, and then the clown comes in. You speak for the devil. No, my spirit irritates your demons, sunshine. That's what that's about. My spirit irritates your demons, and you don't like it. And I don't care, because I will continue to speak the truth, regardless if your demons get ticked off or not. Pity. I don't care. If you don't believe it, I don't. Fine. Okay. Let me just make this very clear to you, and clear to all the people who say demons don't exist. I am not here to prove to you that demons exist. I'm not. Believe it or not, narcissistic thoughts or tendencies really don't entertain me. And I'm not persuaded one way or the other by people who think that the world revolves around them. I'm not here to prove to you that demons exist. Not at all. I'm here to help the families who know they do. And I'm very much at peace with that. Well, you're the Nazarene you're talking about. Why do I get blasphemy thoughts? There's two types of demonic activity. There's ordinary demonic activity and extraordinary demonic activity. And ordinary demonic activity is when the demonic will tempt you to do things and say things, just as Jesus was tempted. Being tempted is not a sin. Falling into the temptation is. Jesus, it says in Scripture, Jesus himself, the devil tempted. So being tempted is what the devil does. That falls under ordinary demonic activity. The extraordinary is when it goes into possession, but that's different. Well, thank you, Misty. Well, hello there, Vegas. I appreciate that. Well, Chase, can we pray to the archangels, and why was I taught not to? Because, well, that's a great question, Chase. That's a really great. The book of Enoch, by the way. A lot of people talk about the book of Enoch. The book of Enoch, the reason is it really wasn't included in Scripture is because it worshipped angels almost to a deity status, a god status, and that was very problematic. As a matter of fact, it was so overwhelmed. They do a huge genealogy all the way to Lucifer, and even the Nephilim, as you all know about it. But Paul even says, don't argue over the endless genealogies. So the book of Enoch really it increased angels to the point of a god. And that was a big no-no. Plus, of course, it also blames sin on demons, and it takes free will completely out of the equation. So that's also a big no-no. But asking for intercessory prayers. The issue is people think that we idolize or we worship the angels. We don't. For example, it's no different if you say, Saint Michael the Archangel, defend me in battle, be a protection against the malice and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him. We humbly pray, and do thou, O God, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all evil spirits who wander the earth seeking the ruin of souls. Now, that's the short form of the Saint Michael prayer. Nowhere in that prayer does it say, I worship you, Saint Michael. But it is no different by saying that prayer and then you coming to me and saying, Bishop Long, can you pray for me because I have a surgery tomorrow? Or can you pray for me because I'm sick? That's all we do. That's it. That is all we do. There's no worshiping. He is not God. He cannot save you. God can only save you. And we go to, it's intercessory prayers. We go to St. Michael and ask for help. Same way that you would ask me to pray for you. Yeah, it's praying together. That's right. Yeah. I don't understand, Josh, your question. It's fine. Oh, what are we talking about here? It's about you have your belief, I have mine. No, I'm not gonna repeat all that. No, I'm not doing that. No. You can we don't pray to Michael as a god. We pray for Michael to pray for us in the same way that you would ask me. Oh, you'll ask me. So Abby, like for example, we don't pray to Michael as a god. We pray to Michael as for intercessory prayers. If you were to ask me, Bishop Long, can you pray for me? That's all we do with Michael. That's all we do with Raphael. That's all we do with all the saints and angels. That's it. We don't worship them. They're not God. They cannot save you, but they can help and they can protect. And they're here to serve. So absolutely we can do that. Oh, fasting. Josh is asking about fasting. Yeah, that's right. We don't worship them. Jesus did mention fasting in the Bible. It's actually in Matthew chapter 6, verse 16 through 18. Because Jesus actually said, when you fast, don't look as somber as the hypocrites do, for they disfigure their faces to show how they're fasting, and he tells you truly they receive their reward here on earth. But Jesus said when you do that, when you fast, don't make a scene. Look how holy I am, because that's what they were doing in Jesus' time. So that's in Josh. That's found in Matthew chapter 6, verses 16 through 18. Okay, folks, I've been on air for 2 hours and 14 minutes. I am exhausted. Listen, if you want to know about the Bible, I have Bible study every Sunday and Wednesday. I've been doing that now for quite some time. As a matter of fact, if you're interested in Revelation, last year in January, I spent 6 months every Sunday and Wednesday, and I actually broke it down to verse by verse by verse, what it all means, everything. So you can go on my Facebook page and go all the way back to, like, I think January the 8th of last year. And every Sunday and Wednesday, I taught it. So, yep, it's very, yeah, I like Christmas. I love Christmas. Right, Frank. That's right. So I'm here every Sunday. I'm here every Wednesday. Every Sunday and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I teach the Bible, but here's what I do. I break it down and I tell you what was going on during the time. So I explain the history because it's so important. And then I break it down, and then I give you my homily, and I usually talk about something else, another topic on the second hour. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. You're all invited. You don't have to be Catholic. Everybody's invited. Look, I don't care. Here's the deal. People ask me all the time, I am not here to judge you, and I'm not here to condemn you. That is not my job. That is not my place. My job is to serve. I'm here to try to teach you to the best of my ability and my knowledge, Scripture, the Scripture of love and compassion. And I don't care if you're not Catholic, fine. You're welcome here. If you're LGBTQ, you're welcome here. If you're straight, you're welcome here. I don't care about your age. I don't care about your race. As long as you're compassionate, as long as you show compassion and love to other people, you don't judge people. We're not here to judge people. But do I have God in my heart? If I didn't have God in my heart, I wouldn't have been here for 2 hours and 16 minutes talking about God and how you should serve God. It's a very judgmental comment. See, that's what I mean. It's a very judgmental comment. I don't know. Okay, sure, absolutely. Yeah, there was scripture before Jesus. There was the Old Testament. And Jesus taught on the Old Testament many times. It's called the Torah. Okay. Yeah, it's like no matter what I do, you can give somebody $1 million. And there are some people in this world that will complain and stab you in the back because you didn't give them 2 million. And that, friends, free will. And we pray for those people. So that's what we do. Well, I don't know why we have. I don't know why, because I don't think heaven is forced upon us, Ryan. Ryan says, why do we have ghosts? Because I don't think heaven is forced on us. And I also believe that we have free will in heaven. I know we have free will in heaven. I know that from biblically speaking, because angels freely fell while in heaven. So therefore, they must have exercised their free will to reject God. So therefore, free will must exist in heaven. And if free will exists in heaven, then heaven cannot be forced upon us. So there we go. Okay. Please, who is God and how can we find him? That's why Jesus taught about the 8 Beatitudes. I don't find God in cathedrals. I don't find God in golden cathedrals. As a matter of fact, when I go to golden cathedrals, I get furious. I get angry. Because I think all this money and how many people it could help. And the priests sitting on golden chairs. And I'm thinking, really, seriously? You can't sit on a wooden chair. It has to be a golden chair. Or even a brass chair. And it's, those chairs are very expensive. It's $5,000, $6,000. I find God in simplicity. I find God in nature. I find God in helping other people. I find God when I do chaplaincy. I find God when I help other people, knowing that they can't give anything in return, nor do I expect them to give anything in return. That's where I find God. Okay, I'm going to go. I've been here long enough, guys. I've been here since 8 o'clock. Tomorrow I'll be here at 8 o'clock, and I'll talk about Bible study. I welcome you. You're all welcome here. For those of you on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, I always tell you, and I want you to listen to this because I tell you this all the time, because there's a lot of trolls and there's a lot of haters that try to demean you and try to break down your worth. Your value does not decrease based on somebody's inability or refusal to see your worth. You are priceless. Never let anybody tell you or convince you otherwise. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, God bless. And I will see you guys tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern.